Hi, I'm Kyle with Cakes and Coffee, and welcome back to Cakes and Conversation. Today we are talking about failure. The general population tends to think that failure is a bad thing, but I'm here to tell you that failure is actually a good thing and very vital for your success. When you start off as a child, you were born with intellect. You're born with the natural ability to figure things out and problem solve. And you have to fail to learn from your mistakes so you can fix those problems. Those are things that people forget about as they get older and lose that failure and creativity. I have a 2-year-old daughter. I'll tell you guys a story. I got a 2-year-old daughter, and it's amazing how smart she is. She's very smart. She can problem solve anything. She's definitely smarter than me. One day she wanted this toy, and I'm guessing she really wanted to play with this toy because she kept jumping for it on the it was on the top of the shelf. She kept jumping for it. So I sat back. I was like, I'm not gonna get it for her. I'm gonna see what she does. Let's test her. And I do that from time to time, but so I'm watching. I'm sitting back and I'm watching and seeing what she does. And she goes and she grabs a small chair, and she puts the small chair up next to the shelf and tries to get the toy. The small chair is too small. So she's trying to get this toy, and the small chair was too small. So she takes the small chair back and she goes and gets a bigger chair. Okay, she puts the bigger chair up to the shelf and she manages to get the toy successfully with this bigger chair. What did she do? She problem solved. And me and her both learned a valuable lesson that day. She learned that she had her very first taste of success that day. That's what she learned. She learned how to achieve. And who knows, she might have been problem solving this whole time, but that's one of the times that I know personally. So I'm gonna just say her first time. And I learned that you can achieve any goal no matter how tall with just being persistent. If you're persistent, you could achieve any goal you want. But we lose that creativity that we had as a child that she has. We lose that persistence. We lose that problem solving, that need to fail when we go to school. We go to school, and what happens? We get an F on the test. That's frowned upon. Guess what happens after that? You get embarrassed. You never want to fail again. You don't want to step outside the box or try new things and fail until you get it right because you're embarrassed. And that happens throughout our childhood, and it teaches you to be docile. You're basically taught to be a sheep. You're systematically and subconsciously taught to be a sheep and be docile and follow direction because you're scared to get embarrassed and you're scared to fail. So you just listen. You turn your brain off. You turn your creativity off. You turn your brain off, and you just become a sheep. Then what happens after that? What happens after you finish school? You get a job. At that job, you may have very little experience in that job. You may have went to school and read a bunch of things out of a book or went to clinicals, but you're not a professional at that job. You have to fail at that job to get better at that job. And what happens at this new job you have little experience in? You fail. What happens when you fail? You get in trouble. You get in trouble a lot of times. You start to fear you might risk your job. This is your livelihood. This is what you depend on. This is your everything. So you start to fear that you're going to lose this job. And that puts you in a box. That puts you in the I don't want to fail. That puts you into being a sheep and being docile, and you lose your creativity rather than being you, rather than being that natural person God intended you to be. You become locked in this box of failure packaged by you're in this box of fear packaged by failure, I should say. And failure is very, very important. You gotta fail. What do you do when you work out? When you work out, what are you doing? You're tearing your muscles down. Your muscles are failing. You're making your muscles fail. and then they come back stronger. That's the same thing with your mentality. You fail and you come back stronger when you can't figure something out. When I first started making coffee, I was bad at making coffee, and in my brain it would subconsciously these thoughts and these, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that different. Now I'm pretty good. I'm not trying to brag. I'm pretty good at making coffee now. I was terrible at making coffee. At first I was bad at cleaning windows. I figured this out, figured that out. Oh, there's streaks right there. What can I do for that? My brain figured it out. Now I'm phenomenal, and you can't tell me anything about cleaning windows. When we first started this place, I was scared to paint my store because I didn't know anything about painting. I never painted in my life. Look at these walls. You see the walls? They look good. I never painted in my life, and I got a couple of quotes on to get my store painted. My store is only about 200 square feet. I got a couple of quotes to get my store painted, and these people wanted $1,600, $1,800, $2,000. That's a lot of money to just throw someone to just paint a store when it's something so easy you can do yourself. And you know what? Me and my friend Bobby painted the store, and it was my first time painting, and now I could be a painter. It's just that simple. So don't sit and fear things. Don't be worried about failure, because you don't know what you're capable of. I felt so proud after we painted this store. We did all the construction ourselves. We redid the ceiling, everything ourselves. I've never done these things in my life. So just try new things. You have to fail, but fail forward. Fail forward. I used to work at, I'll do one more quick story for you guys. I used to work at this store in St. Louis, Missouri called Emo's Pizza. I still remember till this day when I got that call from Pat. Pat was the manager at Emo's Pizza. He gave me a call, and I applied. I probably put in 100 job applications. I had just finished high school. I put 100 job applications in, and Pat was the only one that called. Hey, you want to come in for an interview? Emo's, we got this position at Emo's. So I'm like, and you know, before I got that job, I was picturing myself working at Emo's. Every day I would picture myself working at Emo's because I love Emo's Pizza. And I had a feeling he was going to call, and he called. So my first day at Emo's, we were so busy. We were swamped. Everybody that day made like $150 probably at the least just in the morning. I made $30 that day. And to be honest, I believe my manager, Pat, slipped me like an extra $10 or $20 because he felt bad for me because I was that terrible. We were super busy. I kept getting lost. I was using this GPS that kept losing signal, and I was relying on this GPS and kept getting lost, and I only took 4 deliveries. And I remember I came back to the store at the end of the day. It was my first day on the job, and there was a general manager there named Huff. And Huff was like, he was like, you need to fire him. He's terrible. He's wasting our company money. He's wasting our time. He's a huge waste of time. You need to fire him. Like saying this while I'm right there. And I just feel like I'm feeling bad. Like, man, I'm going to get fired. This is my first job, first day. I'm going to get fired. And I remember Pat, like, and I always liked Pat because Pat, he looked at you from within. He didn't, and that's something I learned from him. He didn't look at you for what you are or what you're doing. He looked at you for what you could be. Like, he looked at potential. He didn't just look at you as a person. Pat was like, no, give him a chance. He's good. He's a good dude. I know he'll do great. Just give him a chance. I was bad at first too. Just let him, let him stay. Just let him stay. And the dude Huff was like, all right, I'll let him stay. So eventually, long story short, I stopped using my GPS, and that way I could learn the streets in my head. And eventually I knew the streets down to the directionals, I knew everything. I could go right to a house. If I saw the numbers and the street name, I could go right to the house because I knew where it was. I learned the map. From doing that, I got really good at delivering pizza. Really good at delivering pizza. I was delivering pizza at 4 stores: the Creve Coeur East store, the Creve Coeur West store, the Olivet store, the Overland store, and the Dorset store. They had me on call for these 4 stores to deliver pizza. I was making anywhere. I was probably at the least, and I'm being very modest, making 600 a week at the least, being
Sorry,
modest. Back again, and I almost got fired, which was amazing. And guess who would be calling me to work at these stores? The general manager of, hey Kyle, can you come to Dorsey? Hey Kyle, can you come to Overland? Hey Kyle, Creve Coeur East. Hey Kyle, Creve Coeur West. Hey Kyle, where you at? It was Huff. It was Huff that was calling. And long story short, then I started making pizza, and I wanted to do everything. And some shifts they would have me making pizza and delivering at the same time. So keep doing what you're doing. You have to fail. Be optimistic. Don't think it's over. Don't quit just because you fail, because you have to fail to become better. That's how you get stronger. That's how your brain figures things out. That's how you problem solve. You have to fail to problem solve. That's how you get better. What do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? Do you want to be a painter? Start your own business. Do you want to be a painter? Go paint. Paint your own room. Paint a room. Paint your room. Figure out what you did wrong if you're doing something wrong, and redo it. Keep redoing it. Keep putting primer on the wall and redoing it till you get great. You could make $5,000 off one house painting the house, and that could be in 2 days. With your own business, you can go buy your business license. What is $200-300 depending on what you do for a business license. Now you're a business owner. You could start your own painting. Start your own landscaping company. But I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I have to get back to work. Phones ringing and customers are pulling in, so I have to get back to work. You all have a great, blessed day, and subscribe and share this post, and let me know what you think about failure. Do you think failure is a bad thing, and do you think failure is a good thing? Comment below. We can have a conversation about it. Thank you. You have a blessed day.